on when a lady's present in 1914. And this creation's a veiled sailor with flowered bands and side tilt. One down, but more to go in a moment. Let's see what this new chapeau is like. It features an off-the-face brim trimmed with white birds and has a sailor crown. Off the face is off the head. What's coming up now? This round-brimmed cloche is trimmed with black feathers, very popular in the millinery mode of that moment. And now for a look at the cartwheel hat with gathered fabric and box crown. Somehow I don't believe she's going to like this either. See what I mean? But, Madame, there must be something you'll want. Now, I just happen to have one that's exactly right for your personality. It's an off-the-face profile brim in straw trimmed with plumes. But off with the old, on with the new. And finally, a flowered cloche. This suits Milady's fancy. Mighty fancy.
And Parisian. Women's legs came into the open for the first time, but their heads stayed under cover. Something new came into our lives, the traffic jam. When the road was clear, you could legally do 20 miles an hour.
Louise Fazenda eating her hat.
Paris headlines, 1927. That evening cap certainly sparkles plenty. She's proud as a peacock and just as full of feathers. How would you like to sit behind these heads at the movies? A nest of beadwork in her hair. Those aren't earrings, they're flying platters. These engineering projects are just the thing to wear when you've washed your hair and can't do a thing with it. Spanish skyscraper. Quick Pierre, the aspirin. urban turban. Back in the mid-30s when deep crowns were the big attraction. For Al Smith fans, the tip-tilted derby. One, two, buckle my square sailor. Millinery on the half shell. Half hat, half hairdo. The draped turban, headliner of today and yesterday. It hasn't changed so much since the 30s, has it? Quite a feather in her cap, and on her muff, too.
Here I am ready to buy a big 10-tube radio set. And what do you suppose the salesman gives me? The runaround. Keeps gabbing with some blonde. Practically leaves me flat. Stick around, I'll tell you the payoff. It's rich. How do you do, sir? What can I do for you today?
Well, I'd like to get a hat. Something like this.
There you are, sir. Latest thing out. Imagine that guy letting me fiddle around all by myself. Why, he didn't seem to give a hoot whether I bought that radio or not.
Say, it feels a little tight.
Why, I'd quit being a salesman if I couldn't treat people better than that. What'd you say, sir? A little light? Well, now, here's something in a darker shade. Very snappy. So I stand around, waiting for this guy to pay attention to me until I get sore. Just about the time I figure he's going to give me the old selling routine, I cross him up and walk out.
Ha, ha, ha! And that's exactly what I'm going to do here.
Now, what do you suppose got into him?
I'm very sorry. I couldn't help hearing what took place. I'm sure we have just the kind of a hat you want. I'd like to show you our newest stock.
Yeah, I guess I was a bit hasty.
Oh, not at all. And I know just how you feel about buying hats. Hate to do it myself. every once in a while, my wife clamps down on me, and I have to get a new one.
My wife's the same way. No, I didn't think I needed a new hat, but the wife insisted.
That's a good style for you. And I feel just the same as you do about an old hat. You get used to it. Wear it fishing. Get it soaked and crushed up. Well, you get to know it so well, you kind of hate to part with it.
Yeah.
Now, let's get the size.
Well, it's 7 1/8, I think.
That's right. Try this one. That hat looks well on you. Just the right swing to it.
Yeah, it looks pretty good and it feels pretty good for a new hat.
That's because of the new type band on the inside. It's flexible and adjusts itself to the shape of your head more readily than the stiffer hat bands.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. It's all right.
That style hat is just right for you. Looks almost as good as the old one. Shall I send it out?
No, I guess I'll wear it.
don't know about Edgar.
Always thinking about Edgar.
Oh, Blubberhead won't care. And what if he does?
There you are. Try that. Isn't that beautiful?
Is that powder blue?
Oh, yes. You should see it in the sunlight.
May I?
Why, certainly.
Thank you.
Hey, wait a minute! Come back here!
Oh, goodness gracious. What is boss is matter?
Stores where self-contained Weathermaker units provide year-round shopping comfort. But comfort isn't all. In conditioned air, merchandise stays fresh and attractive. Stains and fingerprints from summertime handling cease to be a problem.
A group of chic chapeaux are fashioned by Lily Dachet, whose thoughts run to turbans this season. Simulated aigrette style, this one. A mirrored necklace enhances the setting for this stunning white satin pillbox. This turban was inspired by the motion picture Magnificent Doll, in which Ginger Rogers portrays Dolly Madison, from whom the group of turbans gets its name. The inspiration carries over into gold lame and peacock feathers. What more could you need for inspiration? Well, perhaps another turban. The whole history of turbans with a modern twist passes in review in this collection for 1946 and 47. A drape and a swirl and a rose make a crown for a lovely queen, or might we say, a magnificent doll. Hat boxes, and behind them, a fall preview in hats. Like everything milady wears, hats run in cycles, and the trend right now is to the dear old days when Mother married Dad. These bonny bonnets were inspired by Joan Fontaine's new picture, Ivy, a fashionable belle of the early 1900s. How about this white felt Padre hat trimmed with a jersey scarf? Very swank. The black Padre number with the black orchids will be quite stylish this fall. Florence Reichman of New York found her inspiration in a picture, and the result is as pretty as just that, a picture. You ladies will find it simple and pleasant to follow the trend. You men will just have to submit gracefully. You can't stop the tide nor fashion.
About bringing order out of chaos. What kind of millinery will the ladies wear this year? Why, hardware. These creations, designed by a Miami store, give the regular stylists bees in the bonnet. You've heard of the little bird on Nellie's hat. Well, that goes double. And if the wolves want to whistle, this'll probably whistle right back. This all-purpose number has everything. Need a manicure? It's right handy. The old-fashioned cocktail shaker is on the way out. This miss uses her head instead of her hand. Definitely not to be worn during a water shortage or a flood. To be frank, this bonnet brings out the beast in earnest. Ah, best in show.
Houses like Piguet have risen to challenge the supremacy of the famous old leaders.
know, Eddie, maybe we ought to start saving for a rainy day. This Western Avenue apartment and maid, everything's costing so much money. The whole thing is just like a moving picture, huh, Eddie?
Mm-hmm. Just like a moon picture, Ma. The big shots are all moving over to Park Avenue, Ma. How'd you like to have a Park Avenue apartment, huh?
Well, Eddie, baby, Park Avenue address, who wouldn't want? But, Eddie, you think maybe the cops are getting on to you?
Oh, for crying out loud, Ma. Can't you get it through your head? If there's a beef, the cops go after Johnny Lucky, not me. That's Florrie, answer it. I told you she's coming by. She wants to go to Cotton Club, so I'm taking. So answer it already. Wow. Huh.
Throw his weight around, although he could spare it. The door is open, so come on in for a look-see at the latest in hats. A picture of hats designed by Denis Chabot of Paris, having their pictures taken by Monsieur le Photographeur. He may be looking for a birdie on Nellie's hat, and when he doesn't find one, he raises a fuss over feathers, white on a trim black toque. For this one, the accent is all white and quite startling in its effect. It clicks with the photographer. This wide-sweeping eye-catcher comes in white or red. The gal who wears it won't be lacking in appreciative glances from the opposite sex. Big hats, little hats, white hats, red hats. Paris has them topped every time. Hats with veils, hats with flowers. You don't see any flowers? Searching them all, we pinned a rose on her. Hats with feathers, too. Paris isn't missing a trick. Mais non. Of course, if Mademoiselle can't face it in her new chapeau, why, she can be a cover girl. But the eyes have it.
Help in seceding from French Morocco.
Parisian spring hats feature many fabrics and shapes. Here is a velvet cloche with satin underbrim. A piqué ribbon in yellow and black dominates this creation, guaranteed to attract attention in the Easter parade. A wide-brimmed black velvet hat with a veil is good for sunny days when the wind isn't blowing. When the wind is blowing, try this snug silk rose petal model. La Clorinde is a white satin creation trimmed with several shades of pink ribbon. In the looking glass, she's good looking, wearing a white velvet model embroidered in white and gold. Honey-colored aigrettes decorate this hat, ready for the boulevards of Paris in the spring. Finland's Matti Pietikainen.
Beards, too, but they wore an artificial beard made out of wood or horn or some such material. And the women, too, shaved their heads and wore wigs. Now, of course, we're talking about the the aristocracy, the noble people and the rulers of those days, not the poor people. And here's an Egyptian woman with the kind of imitation hair or wig that was worn by the high-born ladies of those days. Another thing about the Egyptian women of those days was that the higher the headdress they wore, the more noble their blood was supposed to be. So you can see there was quite some competition among the ladies in a vertical way. Really getting high in some of these. Another peculiar thing was that when the princesses or queens acted in an official way, they too wore an imitation beard on their chins. Now we're coming forward to the Grecian days. And of course we know all about these from drawings and paintings of the old days and written descriptions. And many of these pieces, by the way, are actual survivals of those periods and have been preserved in antique shops and in museums. This is the Greek style of hairdo. Of course, at all ages, a scarf was often used as a covering for the hair, with or without a hat on top of that. Now we're coming forward to the Roman days. There is a Roman painting, and a peculiar place for it. It's just another example of the scarf wrapped around. This young lady does not have a toothache or an earache. She is just increasing the wrapping around her hair on her head, and it gradually got to an exaggerated fashion. More and more of the face and hair were concealed until we got to this type, which became popular in Brittany, in France, hundreds of years ago. And then we had also in medieval days a sort of dunce cap idea. And once an idea was formed, why, they carried it out to the extreme. So here we have the double dunce cap, and even further the triple and quadruple dunce cap idea. And of course, further decorations were added. This is a millinery display of the medieval period. Now we come to what I call the antler type of hat. Looks something like the spread of antlers of a water buffalo or some African gazelle. And this might be the ox type of decoration. This was popular, by the way, in England, about the time of Ivanhoe and Richard the Lionhearted. Only for high-born ladies, of course. And then, of course, the men weren't going to be completely left out of the picture. Here's a gentleman with a tall vertical hat. And just in case of a change in the weather, notice that he has a different type of hat slung over his back. Well, we're coming down through the ages a little bit, but not making much progress in the millinery department. This chap has a whole counter's worth of cloth on his head. Now, this is on the neat side, but that hairnet is studded with precious jewels. In this case, it's the first cost and not the upkeep. Here we have what is often called a Holbein type of hat, because that famous painter gave us many canvases with models wearing that kind of picture hat. But Franz Hals and other famous painters also gave us their studio portraits with the same type of millinery decoration. Here's quite a different type. The hat is small, but the beard more than makes up for it. Now, this is really neat. I say I'm no judge of ladies' hats, but this is the type I like anyhow. It'll be good in a high wind. Notice that the ruff is now coming in around the neck there. That would be around 1550, 1600 and through there. Just imagine all the handwork that went into the ironing of a ruff of that type. Many of the pictures by Van Dyck feature these ruffs. Here we're going into the vertical decoration again. You notice how it switches from the horizontal to the vertical and back again. High, low. Oh, and also we are coming into the corseted era, and in some of those old days they actually wore iron corsets. Of course, the whaling captors soon relieved the iron of its duty by bringing in the whalebone. This is just a simple country costume, I'm glad to say. They've relaxed on that iron stuff. And here we have a lace bodice and a straw hat.
Picture. Watch out for the windows. In spring, feminine conversation lightly turns to hats. That's quite apparent. And quite transparent is this king-sized off-the-face number setting the style for daytime wear. The cloche, it seems, is here to stay, you gals say, even though it takes a certain type gal to carry it off. For evening wear, this white feather number to highlight feminine charm. You like? Me too. Bamboo straw for that cocktail party or dinner date. But if you're looking for just the thing for the Easter parade, this trellis hat will either win you a nest egg or get you the bird. Quite cagey, eh what? New York milliners take the lid off a sparkling chapeau collection for the November to January fashion season. Here's a tempting trio, millinery a la mode, to grace the most fashionable spots in America. Styles to flatter every woman include the cloche in cerise, mulberry, and turquoise velvet, the toque in satin with a front spike of silk roses. For the Millinery Institute, top designers unveil prized contributions to the festive season ahead. Fur furbelows include a stencil lap and cloche with cloth of gold trim and a furrier than fur marabou feather toque. Jets and emeralds glitter in black lace to glorify this miniature pillbox. At opposite extremes, winter roses and soft pastels adorn a wide brim evening bonnet. Blue satin and velvet roses nestle in frothy midnight blue tulle. Festive fashions for the fair lady to match the holiday mood that lies ahead.
Hello, what have we here? Magic? You guessed it. But this is Millinery Magic, a collection of dazzling new tricks of the trade, and the setting is New York's Waldorf Astoria. A turban of gold brocade on a bandeau of turkey feathers. A matching bag goes with this mandarin fez, a poof of beige feathers and wool jersey. Chinchilla sets this off-the-face beret apart, while the next number features a cluster of pheasant tails draped on beaver. Tricky. Contrasting black velvet and white feathers with matching muff. This is a year for feathers, all right, and they look all right on a pretty gal. There's no magic about it.
To recall past glory. Tips and toppers for the season ahead, courtesy of the Millinery Creators of America, who hold their first summer showing in New York. Emphasis is on a light and airy look, appropriate for this time of year, and beyond that, the designers are fancy-free, if not downright whimsical. For instance, this broad-brimmed cotton paisley. We're brim full of surprises. The brim is removable, leaving a high-draped turban, while the brim becomes a trim beach bag. Use your head. It's just right for carrying a bathing suit to the seashore. A handy-dandy little convertible. For the very essence of chic, a wig of white uncurled ostrich over white organza. And for the gal who can't quite decide which hat to wear, a convertible that is the ultimate. It's a 4-in-1 combination.
a portrait straw brim, a separate chiffon band with bow, and a vivid pink turban. Just put them together any way you please.
By doing more things for yourself and for others. It means learning to understand better just what is all right for you to do and what isn't. Little by little, you learn the things you must know and the things you must do. Little by little, you grow up. Some each will have a statement to make on the meeting shortly.
An advance glimpse of the 1961 Easter Parade in New York, where 10 of the nation's leading milliners display spring hats. This large roller with elongated crown in fuzzy white Indian cotton is an eye-catcher from any angle. All these new hats are worthy of reflection. This tall sailor of black patent leather, for example. The lady has ample time to decide if it's to her taste. The rolled rim, so prominent in this show, is popular with the designers, and their informed opinion is the woman of fashion will go along in coming months. It's the first time a group of milliners have joined to showcase their new creations. This skyscraper cuff toque of striped straw is a lofty achievement. A giant sailor with a colorful band tops off the show stylishly, a cheery harbinger of spring in the winter gloom. In Paris, the rites of spring begin in the chill of winter with the unveiling of new hats for the new season. This one is trimmed with 2 large roses, very feminine and very right for spring. Here's a convertible eye-catcher, white toque with on-again, off-again straw picture brim. Here's a perky chapeau of Italian straw. Black leather has interesting possibilities, too. Dark satin, trimmed in black, gives this creation after-dark glamour. To enhance the mood, add a horsehair veil to this straw toque. Sou'westers are in to make sure this season won't pass without its fashion controversy. Call it chic or call it coal scuttle, as you will. You have to admit, it's striking. There's a new multi-million-dollar grandstand at ancient Ascot in Britain as the posh set, led by Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, turn out for the running of the Royal Hunt Cup. Princess Margaret is also on hand. She's keeping her choice a secret, she says, just for luck. The Ascot meet is more than a horse race. The day calls for the horses to compete with the hat show. And this is probably the only event of its kind where the fashion reporters outnumber those covering the races. In every shape, manner, and form, wherever you turn, there are hats. As a matter of fact, you can hardly see the horses for the hats. But let's not forget there's a horse race to be run. The French have some strong entries in the race, making it an international battle among the 39 starters, giving the race all of the earmarks of a big city rush hour. Splits to either rail in the home stretch, and 2 British entries battle it out on the near side as they near the finish. King Troop and Robson's Choice running head-and-head for the wire. It's a mad scramble in the final few yards, but King Troop holds his edge as they pass the finish. Those who didn't have the winner are at least up on hat fashions.
By the way, the name of the ship is USS Man. If the Christmas season is upon us, can spring hat fashions be far behind? The designers have visions of cherry blossoms, not sugar plums, as they hold a preview of a preview in London. These are Dior inspirations, and can't you just imagine the spring flowers as you ignore the cold outside? Straw, muslin, and lace are in Milady's future next spring. And Dior has the spectators wishing that Ascot Racetrack was open and they had these hats to pull winners from. It looks like the designers have come up with some winners come spring.
If Milady is reflecting on what she's to wear this fall, New York designers have these hats in mind. Materials range from suede and snakeskin to feathers and furs, and most styles tend to be more conservative. Conservative for ladies' hats, that is. Designers from A for Mr. Arnold to V for Sally Victor are all represented, and they look on each creation as a crowning glory. For a random sampling, here is Mr. Arnold's turban that contrasts nicely with Dowager's leather swagger. There's nothing like a mink snood for a girl's morale, but then there's swank in a printed cloche, too. Fall promises to be a season of swank, and hats are due to play their part. A fat wallet is the only key you need to open the doors to this fall's fashion finds. There's a treasure house of style for a price.
You remember number 4. He's the hottest tip of the race.
A true harbinger of spring is Milady's hat. Can Easter be far behind when Paris designers stage a preview of things to come? No, Junior, these are not your father's crash helmets. Paris seems to be encouraging the return of the wide brim, hats that flirt with that come hither look. No flowery phrases are needed here. You can have the ornate or the severe. All in all, simplicity seems to be the keynote. That kind of simplicity that makes a bonnet exclusive and expensive. There will be something for every taste, for it is with hats that a designer can really run wild, and usually does. This one probably found its genesis in a Charles Dickens novel. Maybe she doesn't want us to make light of these new fashions. All right, young lady, we'll fade out and see you next spring in the Easter Parade. Well, the ladies have something in their future to chase the doldrums of winter. A preview of hats for the Easter Parade features turbans like this skillfully draped chiffon and a Raja turban that fairly breathes of the mysterious East. Shantung drapes easily into another Raja creation. Take heart, ladies, they're not all severe. Flossy flowered fantasies are forecast. White daisies tell plenty in this jaunty fedora. And another horticultural highlight is a lacy apple blossom pattern. You can let spring flowers go to your head by donning this snood. Hats for every mood. Head huggers from tailored spring ensembles. Rough straw left and a straw roller. Back brimmed straw to frame a pretty face in flattery. Wide brims for romantic interludes. From turbans to cartwheels, something for every Easter parader.
There are occasions, and occasions. And occasions.
To buy a TV set for his family, or maybe it's the woman who wants a new hat, even if she isn't sure which one. The gang at the lake who rent your bike.
Marguerite's pigtail and straw headdress, just two of hat designer Simone Merman's creations for spring and summer, said fashion critics. Very sporty, very feminine, very gay. Mini-skirted matrimony may be topped off by this flowing bit of millinery, which bears literal proof of its name, headdress. Some ladies refuse to let flowers go to their heads. This one doesn't mind, since the flower is a hat, and vice versa. A matching camellia hat and collar ensemble is eye-catching indeed. Two more for the road. A maximum brim just for trim and a spiral raffia could make you much happier. Well, anyway, in spring, a young man's fancy, and a young lady is too, with these toppers.
Always a step or so before their time. Contemporary as today, new as tomorrow. For casual wear, carefree cotton has been the fabric most preferred by designers for this most creative of communities. Night falls, creating a world of contradiction, of paradoxes.
Crystal, china, cameras, and jewelry from all over the world, as well as native Virgin Island wares. Americans stopping in St. Thomas can buy $200 worth of merchandise and a gallon of liquor, duty-free. And in between, there are festive evenings shipboard.
Like Harrods, they sell pretty well everything in Petticoat Lane, but there the resemblance ends. The atmosphere is rather more raucous. But whether or not you come to buy, you can be sure of a cheerful time amongst the Cockney crowds. In certain areas, London is still very much a man's town, as in the sombre dignity of locks of St. James's, hatters to the nobility and gentry since the early 1700s. Less traditional in their attitudes these days are the big men's stores in Piccadilly and Regent Street. The men of London have grown more adventurous in their clothes in recent years, and the shops have noted the trends and kept
For the ladies, one of the musts is finding a bonnet. They've been told that there's a prize waiting for the one who brings back the most becoming hat. So where do you go? Naturally, to the best couturier in town on Fifth Avenue. And naturally, it's good to have your man along. After all, he's the one who has to look at it. They'll have to try some other shop, just like home.
Und auch eine Fotografin hat hier ein Geschäft aufgemacht.
Ja, wie wär's denn mit dem? Der dürfte doch ganz gut stehen, ne?
Glaubst du wirklich, dass er passt?
Und ob der passt, guck doch mal hin. So, und jetzt ein bisschen
so
zusammenrücken. Mhm. Bravo.
Whenever the average citizen thinks of a soldier, he thinks of a uniform. He thinks of the traditional steel helmets worn in combat by the fighting man. What he doesn't know is that a bewildering array of headgear has made its appearance in our modern-day army. Here's a report on the situation. The variety of hats being worn by our troops overseas is something to make your hair stand on end or be crushed flat, whichever the case may be. Men's fashions have come to Vietnam. Take these two fellows, for instance. They've gone functional. The blotchy coloration of this headgear and its shapeless shape confuses the enemy and thus saves the wearer from having a hole drilled in his noggin. Even in the military classroom, these soggy-looking numbers grace the heads of instructors and students alike. These are the original everything hats. They not only shade the eyes and protect the head, but when rolled up, make excellent fly swatters. Oh, what fun! The stylish navy blue cap with its reinforced eye shade and emblem of parachute and wings is here modeled by a couple of gentlemen who handle air cargo for a living. Despite rotor downdraft and other unique forms of abuse, these stout lads carry on looking as natty as ever. A fireman is a fireman, no matter where you find him. And despite what you may think, Army firemen wear a fireman's hat. Not everyone gets to wear this symbolic helmet. First, you have to prove you are not a hothead. Then when the engine pulls out, you can be one of the boys. This is not the warm-up pen for the St. Louis Cardinals. This is Vietnam, and these are expert repairmen working on a helicopter engine. With this bunch, baseball has gone to their heads. If you can't understand why our boys in Vietnam have gone so hat crazy, take a look at this. They call it a tanker's helmet. How would you like to wear this little number to work? You need a can opener to get back out. Of course, this kind of hard hat has its charms. Besides having its own telephone, it keeps you from getting your brains beat out in the event of rough roads while driving this wide-track government vehicle. Everybody knows Vietnam is tropical and warm. So what did they do? They designed this chapeau to hug the head, then made it out of wool felt and a heavy leather headband. What fun it is when these boys take their hat off to you. Heavens to Betsy, it would never do for the Army aviators to go unnoticed. And with this bright blue head cover, who could miss them? Somehow it doesn't seem fair. These fellows get to wear two hats. Hey, wait a minute. Haven't we seen that number somewhere else? Is nothing sacred? Identity through your style of hat is not a bad thing in itself, but the way this thing is going, it's turning into a hat war. Let me out of here!
Los Angeles fans are in a gay mood. And so are the Dodgers as they take batting practice. Manager Alston and General Manager Bavesi.
I wanted a souvenir to take back to the circus. How does this look? You like this one better? Could you put my name on it, please?
outfit too? Or is that?
This is like basic black and blue and gray.
But that's not a normal blue.
Find that. I mean, the blue looks blue. It's like they got a lot of blue.
Blue isn't blue though. But yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of those. They got a lot of t-shirts that color.
Okay.
They got a bunch of t-shirts.
Okay.
That blue's good.
Is this like your favorite shoe of everything? Or do you like the white Iverson? What's the best shoe out here?
I like this.
This one? That's great. That's
Jody, smile for the camera.
Sorry, I need to fix my hat.
Okay. It's a mortarboard, dear.
This thing's doing something. Yeah, let me grab my phone quick. The trip is really easy so far. Right here in Michigan.
Okay.
The weather is perfect right now.
Well,
it was raining.
When we're done, I'll come up. Did I